Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg. Welcome back, Heather.
Hey, yeah.
We had a great show last week.
Thanks for having me back,
we missed
Mike.
you.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, actually, I listened to the show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
And, I was sorry not to be here. I love Linda Brake and Bedford Ride.
That's such a great program.
And everything that they do. And then also listen to like Barbara with Regco is, I see a lot of people talking about needing construction or needing good quality help in that area. And it's very hard to find. So I really hope some people, if you're listening in today, did not catch the show last week, while I'm not on it, that's cool. You can still listen in because
it's a great show.
It was a good show. Good content. Great show. Fabulous show. With great content. And that's what, I kind of was thinking back on this, in the past couple of weeks when I've been talking to business owners and people talking about the benefits of being part of the CVBC. And, when I'm talking to them about the podcast, I really sat back a couple weeks ago and really, I thought about how much this has grown and where originally it just, it started as, this will be something fun to do and we'll talk to business owners. But, going on 3 years now, I just take a lot of joy in knowing that we're putting people's stories out there and the word about local business and giving, them a platform to talk about themselves where they may not have that, ability to do so. Especially free of charge. A lot of places want you to pay to come on things or buy commercials. And we talk about you can be a sponsor and have a commercial, but it's not like, you have to. We're not telling you it's something you need to do. And
right.
Sitting down and we've had some of these guests on multiple times. Linda's been on before and but things change within your business. And I think right now the world continues to change with different things. We see businesses opening, we see businesses closing, we see businesses scaling down, we see, all kinds of things happening. And so it really does give people the opportunity to learn more about how to support their local business owners. And I just want to kind of put this out there. If you are a business that hasn't been on the show, you're listening in, haven't been on the show, we want you to come, contact us.
Yeah.
We'd love to chat with you. We want you to become a member of the Central Virginia Business Coalition if you are not. However, we still want to talk and get the name out there and help our businesses, grow and thrive. Because really that's what it boils down to, is keeping people in business. And so,
and it's a great way to, you can have a billboard for a business. You can even have a website and explain what you do, but being able to come on the show and kind of talk about how it really is, right? You know what I mean? So you read a website and you're like, yeah, that's great, but what's that mean? Right. So a lot of people, I've referenced Visiting Angels a lot because it's what I know. And, even looking at our website, a lot of people still don't understand exactly what we do, but being able to have a platform to kind of get your voice out there and be heard and beyond what your cover story is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, also nowadays, especially in this world we live in with, different scams and fraud type things and people saying, hey, I do this and never showing up or taking people's money and doing this or that. I love that we have a platform that people can come on and talk about who they are. And, we know they're real deal. We know they're truthful. We're sitting here talking to them and we've got that information in front of us. And I learned so much from the businesses we have on. And it's nice being even last week, it was nice. I don't want to say it's nice not being in the studio because I love being in the studio, but it was really cool being on the other end and just listening in, and listening. No, I did not get to listen live. I went back and listened to it after.
That's the great thing about the show though, is it's there forever.
Yeah. Cause if I'd have been listening live, I'm always texting you hey, but this time I wasn't able to. But it was nice to still.
You didn't get good cell signal on the beach or something or?
Yeah, I just didn't, no offense. I just didn't care at the time. I was on the beach.
I'm on the beach. I don't care about you guys.
I was on the beach. I had a great trip. So, it's a quick little 2.5 day trip.
Good getaway. Saw some pictures. Looked like y'all were having fun.
Oh, we had a blast.
Saw New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, we did. I saw New Kids on the Block. Don't worry about it. My little 12-year-old heart, 13-year-old heart was full of joy We saw him and Paula Abdul. Let me tell you, she still
I bet
has
she put
it
on a great
at
show.
62 years old. Like, I wish I could move like that now at 40,
Right.
at 46. Well, I'm not 46 yet, but either way,
You're pretty old.
I'm pretty old.
That's the point of the story.
Yeah. So, but it was really cool. It was a really cool show. Got to take my best friend who, we've been best friends since kindergarten, has never been to a concert before in her life.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
You talking about Samantha?
Yeah. She'd
Wow.
never been to a concert before ever.
We're going to have to get her out.
Had not been to the beach since she was in her 20s.
Wow.
And New Kids on the Block was like her, favorite band. Like, that was just her childhood dream. So to take her to do that and have that fun time, it was really cool. It was just a really cool thing.
Yeah.
But but still kind of back to what we were saying before, now I turned it over to me and my fun stuff. But
right.
It's just nice sometimes being on the other end and hearing what other people are hearing.
Yeah.
And
hearing it for the first time. Cause
yeah.
So I actually listened to last week's episode too, not because like I'm an egomaniac and hate to hear myself talk, but I was riding along and I was like, I don't want to listen to music. I want to listen to podcasts. So I listened to a podcast and then it went directly into Talk Local to me. And I'm like, is this like a sign that like we're at the top of the charts? And then realized I subscribed. So it just put me, into the thing. So it's a great thing to subscribe because sometimes you can forget about the show's there. Yep. And it kind of put it in there. And it was kind of cool to listen. And I hate hearing myself talk just like anybody, right? That's probably our number one thing of I'm afraid I'm going to sound stupid.
Not me. I like to hear myself talk.
Hear myself say that now, like I hear it. But, you being able to go back and listen and some of the things that we said, talking about like, so, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting, what's her name? Barbara,
yeah.
Yeah. So she said, I'm here to make a living, not to make a killing.
Right.
Like that stuck with me. Like we're not here to just try to get all the money we can. That's not why, that's when it comes down to it, we're in business because we need to be able to pay bills and things like that. But, and enjoy trips to the beach, things like that. But we, we're not out here to just take people's money for no reason. We want to provide value for that. And that's what I really heard from her is, she's out here and she wants to make money doing jobs, but also being able to help people. Because remodeling your house is stressful and having someone that can guide you through that process can be an amazing experience.
When she said that, my whole thought process was, wow, that's what most small businesses, should kind of, attain. Right. Like, I think a lot of times when you, for instance, like go hard and trying to do all this stuff, that's when you start to see, it can kind of crumble down. Right. But when you're just out there trying to, make a living for yourself and you have like your boundaries and you know what you're trying to do. Like, I feel like that just kind of summed up a lot of what I think small businesses feel like,
oh, you own a business. Oh, you must have lots of money.
Right.
Like you're just raking it in. And I don't think they understand the cost of like payroll and the cost that there are businesses that I look at in Lynchburg and I'm like, I don't know how they make it because they've got, rent on anywhere is expensive. You're looking anywhere from $800 for a very small space to, $6,000 a month for rent. And some of these bigger places, like there's a place on Old Forest Road that was a dialysis center. Mm-hmm. Rent on there is like crazy amount because I looked at it for an office space, but it was way too big.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of cost that goes into it. And so your business might bring in a lot of money and people might go, oh, you must be killing it. Well, revenue is a lot different than profit. Right.
Right.
And, I worked for a business in my past and the owner of the business looked at me and she goes, we're not going to do some of these things we were trying to do to grow and be the biggest because I had to decide if I was going to be a big business or if I was going to be a profitable business.
Right.
And there's a big difference in that because the bigger you get, the more you have expenses.
Yeah.
And unless you've got consistent business following that up, it can be a struggle.
Well, that kind of leads me, it's funny, that kind of leads me into a kind of an announcement that we made this morning.
Let's go.
And I feel like, it kind of airs on that a little bit, for the Central Virginia Business Coalition, because we're nonprofit.
Right.
Our money, I have to watch our budget pretty carefully.
Yeah.
To determine what is, what should we be doing, what should we not be doing, what is a good fit for, for us and what is not. And as many of you guys know, we do a lot of events in our area, a lot of events that I love and, we've been doing for years and years now.
Yeah.
And sometimes though, you have to look at events and look at things happening and make a good decision. Is it really, going to make not even so much any money, but sense to do?
Is it a sound financial plan?
Correct.
To go through with this event because we've done this event for so long. A lot of people, one of my biggest pet peeves is don't keep doing things like you've been doing it just because that's the way it's always been done.
Right.
You've got to look at how things affect and if it's not that it's worth doing because I know the event you're going to talk about and totally worth doing. It's great, supports local music, but also there's got to be a line in the sand as far as like, is it going to be the event that is it going to live up to the standard?
Yeah. Well, and so it pains me to go ahead and just make this announcement now that we are canceling this year's Battle of the Bands, which was set for next Saturday.
Yeah.
August 17th. And a lot of things kind of factored into that decision that we made this morning. This event has, like I said, this will be the 6th year that we've, had hoped to host the event. And every year it's great. Lots of nice, music, lots of fun, lots of bands. We had, looking into this is something where we put a lot into it, but we don't charge admission. We're not making any money off of this event, basically. It's a free event to the community, and we love it. However, we have had some issues this year securing some bands. And one of the
is actually great because the reason it's hard to get enough bands to do it this year is because there's a lot of events going on that are supporting like local live music.
Yes.
And so the demand is high, which is great.
Yeah. And specifically, we found out there's another like a band event going on at Smith Mountain Lake that a lot of the bands that had currently wanted to play, had already signed up for and could not, do both. And then also there is a huge car show that's going to be held in Bedford on the same day, the Hope Driven Car Show. And a car show, sometimes you can go, oh, well, that's just a car show. Hope Driven, though, is actually a huge, huge event. And the money raised from that goes back to like a local child in the area that is, struggling, whether it's with medical needs and things like that. And people come out in full force for this event to really support it. And so in looking at that, and we had two food trucks that had to pull out of the event as well. It just kind of this morning made sense to say, you know what, I think for this year, we're going to go ahead and cancel the event, put all of our, efforts into making Centerfest the biggest and best we can for this year.
Right.
And, kind of look at what next year could look like for it if we bring it back. But just wanted to kind of put that out there that this year we've just decided that it's just not the right time to do it. And it hurts me to do that, but again, I have to look at it from a budgetary I have to look at it from a time, like the time that's put into it, not just for me, but for the vendors that may have been there. Would we have gotten the crowd of people? Would they have made any money? Would it have been worth their time?
And with
to come out and do it?
Debbie coming in, the tropical storm, tornado, whatever she is at the moment, it's supposed to hit right around there. So it could even be that, it could rain all day for that event. The attendance would be down, which would hurt the vendors and, pretty much everybody across the board for that too. So
and then I have to also look at the town. They provide public works, they provide police. Again, is it worth the time?
And they're so generous with their resources. We have to be considerate of that.
That's right. So, we'll put out a little bit more information on our social media and everything. But you heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
But that's kind of
you needed a reason to listen to this podcast. It's because you get all the juicy gossip up front.
But we are going to be talking today about an upcoming event that I'm super excited about, and that is the return of the Bedford County Fair.
Nice.
So we will have someone on later in the show to talk more logistics about that and what's going to be happening. But before we get into that, we have our first guest here.
One of my favorite CBABC members.
Yes.
And not just because the first time I met her, she gave me cookies.
Oh, yeah. She made me sourdough bread. That was awesome. So we have Kelly here with us today, and we're going to be talking about nutrition. And I think that is, for me, I think it's really cool. A lot of people start thinking about that at the beginning of the year. January, you're doing those. What are they?
Resolutions.
Yeah, resolutions. I don't do those.
I don't do those.
But you have a lot of people that do, and they think about nutrition and things like that. And they kind of, by this time of year, it's all in the trash.
Right. It's all hot dogs and hamburgers. By July. So
that's right. Hot dogs, hamburgers, tater tots.
Tater tots.
So, but I think what Kelly does is keeps people thinking about their the nutrition, what they're doing with their life, their lifestyle choices year round. And anyway, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thanks.
So I guess, first of all, tell us just a little bit like an overview about, your business.
Yeah. So I started the nutritioning company in 2021 as like a health coaching, nutrition education business, and it's kind of evolved into more of like a one-stop shop for all things health and wellness. I offer like a range of services from health coaching to nutritional consultations to workout plans and even functional testing. And I really like kind of just working with clients to help them reach a point where they can get into fitness, because especially if you're dealing with like any like chronic issues or like you're chronically fatigued, you might want to exercise and it's going to make you feel better, but it's not
so tough
realistic
to do
because you feel so like crap.
Yeah, it's hard to get started with anything, right?
Yeah.
So so a couple of months ago, so I'm going to step all over you for a minute and just tell my story. So I had felt fatigued for like a couple months, and one day went to work and was like, I can turn right and go to urgent care, or I can turn left and go to work. And I went to urgent care, found out that my alpha gal was back. It's not as severe. So I went 2 months, didn't eat red meat, didn't feel any better. So now like on that journey of finding out what it was. And so I saw I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook or what it was, but you were posting about you had some like health conditions and things like that. And so you were basically treating it with food, because a lot of people, the mentality that we hear all the time is food is fuel, but it is so much more than that. Because what you eat can determine how you feel and make sure that you're getting enough hydration and the right kind of nutrition.
Yeah.
Because everybody is kind of different as far as that goes. And if you don't believe me, just go to the grocery store and look at the vitamin aisle and how many different vitamins there are. There's one for women, for men, for kids, for all these different things. And it's like, how are there so many different things like this, like those supplements and things?
Yeah.
And it's because no two people are really the same, right? So I'll give it back to you and let you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting too, because I think a lot of people, well, everyone's different. So I feel like it'd be kind of like arrogant for me to be like, there's one way for everyone should eat, like everyone needs to eat. But I do like to emphasize, like, as best as you can get your nutrients from whole food sources. Some people do better like adding a supplement, and like that's great.
Does count as that?
Yes.
Yeah. Nutter butters.
Yes.
Okay.
But like everybody's different. Some people would prefer to just like take a pill if they don't want to eat like certain foods, and like that's okay. It's just finding like what works best for you and is like most sustainable, because everybody's different. And I think that that's like really important, is just like supporting people and like meeting them where they're at, instead of just trying to like shove something, like some protocol like down their throat. But yeah, food is magical and I love it. Like I love cooking, and I love knowing that like what I'm making can be nourishing and also like taste good.
Yeah, because food should taste good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that or not, but it should.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people think that in order for something to be healthy, it has to taste crappy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like to eat, and I mean, I can't eat much at a time, but I'm still, and I've even, fallen into the habit of like, I have to eat a lot of protein, but my husband pointed out the other day that I have started adding more pasta back into my diet than what I used to have. What was that?
I don't know. I was trying to open the messages on my iPad and some movie started.
It was making sound effects for Heather's story.
It was.
And so, and I know like pasta is okay. Like, and you don't have to take it out, but like, should it be part of like every meal? Probably not. And so I was glad he pointed that out though, because for me, I was like, oh, but I'm adding like all this meat, like it was chicken and like all this stuff. But, he was just like, hey, do you realize like, we're kind of adding that more back in.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, it's good to know that there are options out there. If someone's struggling, they can come and chat with you, or, whether it's about, the vitamins they're taking, or, what they're fixing, you can help them with those plans.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I thought you were saying something. I was just looking at you. Oh,
I know it's rare when I agree with you.
I thought you were going to say something.
No.
I know, that's what I said. I was like, oh, Mike's speaking.
Yeah.
So, how did you come about wanting to start this journey?
A lot of life happened in like a short period of time. So I've always loved food. I did track in college, and it was really cool to see like food is fuel, and it can support your athletic performance, or it can kind of set you back. So that was a lot of fun, and I thought it was really interesting. And around that time, my husband, Caleb, he got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And so we were in the hospital, and it was the first time I noticed like, oh, there's a little bit of a lacking when it comes to the nutrition side of things, especially with just like diabetes in general. Like you need to be extra conscious of what you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I kind of did a deep dive, one, just to learn like what even is diabetes, because I knew nothing. And then starting to like shift my view of, yeah, food is fuel. And it started to become like food is medicine and understanding like root causes and stuff like that. Not too long after he was diagnosed, I found out I had cancer. So then that was like, it was kind of perfect timing in a way, because it was also like right when COVID was happening. So it kind of like put life on pause. And I was like, okay, like what do I want to do? And it's more like food related. But when I had cancer, I had like symptoms for 2 years before I finally went to the doctor. And I thought I was fine. Like I was so exhausted. I was having trouble swallowing at times. Things was like they were getting stuck in my throat. My stomach burned. What else? Like there's like everything. Like I was just in pain all the time. Like I was holding my coffee mug one morning and my hand was shaking because it was like, this hurts. And I don't know why, but I thought it was normal. My mood was like so bad. Like I was just like up and down. I was exhausted. Yeah, my heart was just like constantly racing. Like I was all of a sudden I was like dealing with all this anxiety and I was like, what is going on? But I was exercising, I was eating at home, so I was like I just assumed I was healthy. And then when I went to the doctor, actually like the first time I went, she looked at me, she's like, you're young, you're skinny, like there's nothing wrong with you.
You got the opposite of what I get. Like
Okay.
you're old and overweight. You need to make a change.
Yeah. She's like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're looking for something that's not there. And I was like, oh, okay. And like later that week, I ended up in the emergency room because like at that point, the lymph nodes on my neck were so like huge. It looked like half a ping pong ball, like just like on like the side of my neck.
Oh, wow.
So, like around, that's when I started thinking like, well, what if I thought I was, if I thought I was healthy and I actually was at my sickest, then like what are better indicators of overall health?
Mm-hmm.
And starting to learn like like your quality of life matters. And if you're chronically exhausted, if you can't go through the day without a cup of coffee, if you feel like you're just so moody, and there's just like so many different things that are better indicators of your overall health. So that's kind of like, I guess what really like pushed me towards that. Also, it's just, I was an extreme where all my symptoms pointed to like a larger issue and I had to do chemo, did the treatments. But a lot of times people have like a subpar like quality of life. Like they're exhausted all the time, all these things, and they don't have a diagnosis. And it's good. You don't want things to get to the point where you need medication or you need surgery.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it's normal and like you should just settle for feeling like crap all the time.
Right.
So that's kind of long answer.
No, that's good though. I know, like I always joke. I mean, I say I came in here today and I was like, I just want to nap. I just want to go to sleep. But there are times I feel like I constantly wiped out. Like, and I drink coffee all day long, like all day. And so I actually had a checkup maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he ran like a full blood panel on me, and I was like, oh, I'm nervous. You know, I'm kind of nervous to see what this is going to look like, just because with my situation, depending on what I eat and the little bit that I eat, and I don't know if I'm getting the correct amount of nutrients and vitamins and things like that, was kind of nervous. But honestly, I was surprised that most everything came back good, except for I was dehydrated, which no shocker there. And then I think it said my sugar was super low, like really low. But that could also be because I can't eat much sugar now. And, you know, I don't know if that's the case or not, but it's good to know that sort of stuff and kind of keep a handle on it, I would think.
Yeah.
So what is something, when you talk about, you know, food as fuel, like name something that's a good, like if you're feeling tired or run down, like what's something good to just grab? Like what's a good pick me up, or what should you be eating?
In short, just like whole foods. So like meat, dairy, fruit, vegetables, just prioritizing whole foods, but also kind of like how you eat. So I like to say like an easy way is just like pair like a protein and a carb. That way you have a little bit more of like a stable blood sugar, because if you have a spike or a dip, even if it's within like a normal non-diabetic range, you're still going to have like some spikes and dips in your energy. And if you have like a dip, your body's going to you're going to have a stress response, and then you're going to have like that sharp spike, but then you're going to go back down. You're on like this roller coaster, and it doesn't set you up for a good day. So even just something as simple as eating breakfast first thing in the morning, just getting
Did
something.
you hear that, Heather?
I know. I knew you were gonna say that. I'm horrible about eating breakfast. Horrible. I don't like breakfast food.
Yeah.
I'm just weird.
Well, you don't have to eat breakfast.
I know. Everyone tells me that too, but I still, yeah. But I do love my fruit. I mean, I eat watermelon like every day. It's my favorite. I know it has a lot of sugar in it,
I love watermelon.
but I love
But
watermelon.
it's a good natural sugar. It's a different than
Yeah.
eating ice cream.
But something like those, like pepperoni, the ones that are like wrapped around the cheese.
Oh yeah.
Those are.
I like
so
those.
I would assume that'd be something that's
Yeah.
semi. I know pepperoni is not really.
Yeah, you want to watch out for like
Processed.
sodium levels, things like
Yeah.
that, because you don't want to have too much of that because it
Okay.
can dehydrate you.
There's
So-
lots to think about when you do
Yeah,
stuff. Now
and
let
it's-
me. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I was just gonna say you've also got a lot. So I'm type 2 diabetic, so and not on very much medicine for it right now because of my health has gotten better, things like that. But so like I have to be careful about what things that I eat because of spiking sugar and then having the drop and then the yo-yo effect
Yeah.
back and forth where your body tries to compensate. So finding foods that have a low glycemic index, which means they don't spike your sugar, they kind of release it slowly over time. So fun fact, a friend of mine used to own an ice cream parlor and taught me that premium ice cream has a 14% or higher milk fat. So it has a lower glycemic index. So if I'm going to eat ice cream, it needs to be a good ice cream
Yeah.
that has that lower glycemic index so my sugar doesn't spike as much. Now, eating ice cream every day, not great. But if I'm going to have it every once in a while, just making smarter choices like that,
Yeah.
it can make a big difference.
Yeah. And I also feel like it's just like the quality. If you get ice cream the way it like used to be made, like just
Mhm.
cream, egg yolks, sugar, vanilla, like that's not like those are good. Like,
They're all good things.
yeah. But most of the time, like you look at ice cream brands in the store.
They can't even call it ice cream anymore.
Yeah, it's like high fructose corn syrup. Like you just have like all these additional ingredients that don't have a ton of nutrients, but they
Right.
have like a lot of calories. And so that's something that kind of like, I think there's like this confusion around like calorie counting and like what's good and what's not. And I think a lot of times people think lower calorie automatically means healthier, but calories are fuel for your body. So
Right.
like you want to make sure you're putting in like good fuel. So like your
Mhm.
body's like getting energy. You don't want to,
You want to put in the premium gas, not the cheap
Yes.
stuff that's on sale.
and the tasty stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what I think I see a lot of people, they do the most, I think, is they go into like a calorie deficit thinking that's going to help.
Yeah.
And really all that's doing is making your body hold on to what it has because you're not feeding it.
And
Yeah.
can make you tired
Yeah.
and fatigued. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a big thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I try, like, I probably eat, 8 meals a day? Like, I eat like little teeny small
Right.
meals, all day long. Now, some of them are more snacky food. Like, don't take my cheese balls away from me because I eat them like constantly, or my watermelon. But, I am still eating like, this, for example, this morning, actually, speaking of breakfast, I did get up and I had gotten, I'd gone to Kodo's and gotten, filet and shrimp. And so I ate that. And I try to eat most of the meat,
The
more
protein.
so than the rice. I'll have like a little bit of rice, but, just eating little bits like that.
Yeah.
No more cold pizza in the morning, though.
Right.
It's not good for me. But I love cold pizza.
Kelly just went, oh,
I know.
that sounds so
And can I also say I wish Pizza Hut was still here in Bedford? I said what I said. I miss it. So anyway, so what are some other like common like misconceptions?
I think that sugar is bad is a big one. I
Mhm.
hear that a lot, like, oh my gosh, too many carbs, that's so bad for you. And it's like your body likes glucose, like that's like your cell's preferred source of energy.
and you have to have it.
Yeah. So, and I think so, and this kind of like ties to like yo-yo dieting. If you're in any sort of like deficit that's like extreme enough, like you're going to lose weight fast. But when you get off of that diet because you've reached your goal weight and then you start to eat like a normal person again, people tend to gain weight and then they put on an extra few pounds because their body's like, like we just had a famine. Like,
Right.
let's like hold on to anything we
Mhm,
can now. And then people tend to think like, oh, well, I just have no willpower. Like, I'm just not disciplined enough and I just got to go back on this diet. But you can lose weight in an unhealthy way. But you can also like, if you prioritize health, then the weight will come off in a more sustainable, healthy way, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And with carbs, when your body breaks them down and you have glucose and it gets stored in your muscles, stored in your liver, it holds on to more water as well. So when people jump on like a low carb diet and they notice like 2 pounds in 3 days, it's probably more water weight than anything else. And I think it's like good to be aware of that because then they automatically think, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have carbs because that's like what's making me gain weight. But it's a little bit more. There's more to that. But
yeah, it's like a lot of people. So a couple of years ago, keto was very popular. Like it seemed like everybody was doing keto, including our house. And that's what put me in the hospital. And I found out I had alpha-gal because I was eating a lot of red meat, things like that. So, the keto, it's a short-term thing. Like you can do it short-term and it will help you lose weight. So like for a wedding or an event or something like that, or you just like, I just need to eat a little differently for a little while. But when you go back, your body kind of, like you said, readjusts and will try to hold on to some of that fat and different things like that.
Yeah.
And the thing that frustrated me a couple of years ago is I used to bike for exercise. I'd go like 20 miles at a time, right? So I'm like serious exercise, right? But I started doing that and I gained like 15 pounds. And I'm like, I'm gaining weight, but I'm exercising. What is this? And I just stuck with it. And it was muscle is heavier than fat. So I was building that. And then once you build up enough muscle and you've got your muscles moving and using up energy, things like that, the more muscle you have, the easier it is to lose weight, but that muscle weighs more. So you can't necessarily always go by the scale as well.
Yeah.
So
I love to like tell my clients if they haven't seen like a picture of fat versus muscle, like 1 pound of fat versus 1 pound of muscle looks drastically different.
Yeah.
And yeah, like when I was doing track, I remember I was like killing myself. I was being super strict with my diet. I was being like super strict with my exercise routine. And I was like, I've not lost any weight. And then, but then when I did like a body composition, like I stood on like an in-body machine and it tells you like your muscle mass, your all those things. I lost 2% body fat. So
which is big.
Yeah,
like,
it's huge. And like I was like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna just go off of the scale anymore because it could be discouraging too. But even so, like kind of back to like if you do keto and like you lose the weight fast, I'm not like against any like specific diet. I think if it helps someone get like encouraged and start to make like the right, like start to like
if you're the kind of person that needs to see some results before you can stick with it, then it's a great thing to do because you're like, all right, so the biggest thing is there is no one plan that is right for everyone, but if you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. Right. So you've just got to be, and so I was talking with a friend yesterday, she's lost 30 pounds this summer. 27, but she's almost at 30. And she didn't make any big changes. She just started being consistent with things. Like I'm not going to go through McDonald's and get my kids McDonald's because they want French fries and then get myself something too. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? So just kind of making those better choices, and it's small things make a big difference, but it's small changes plus time that make the difference. There's nothing that's going to work. And you're going to, start this diet. Next week, you're down 25 pounds. Like that diet shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Because it's not healthy. I guarantee you. So just being more consistent with it and finding those foods that you do like that are healthy. So growing up, I hated Brussels sprouts, right? Every Christmas we had to have, it was tradition. We had to have one Brussels sprout on our plate. We didn't have to eat it. It just had to be there, right? Well, they were always boiled, things like that, the way they were fixed. If you roast Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts.
With a little bit of onion, a little bit of bacon.
I can eat them all day.
They're best food. They're my favorite food. Like literally my favorite food. So
try with sriracha.
That's good too.
Oh yeah.
That's good too. So, it's all about finding the thing that works. And it's just like do you know what the perfect exercise is? There's a secret to this. The perfect exercise is the one that you can stick with because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing with a diet or a meal plan. You've just got to find something that works for you that you can do long term. Yes, you're going to have those occasions where like on July 4th, you have a cookout and you go and you eat a hot dog and a hamburger. You can't beat yourself up over one day as long as you're consistent on all the other days.
Yeah.
You see a lot of diets and they're like, oh, today's my cheat day. Well, that doesn't work if it's every other day.
Yeah.
Right. But making it the exception instead of the rule is going to help you in the long term and help you to be healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody is listening in, Kelly, and they want to talk to you more about, maybe come in to chat with you about their health and nutrition and like what, maybe you could help them do, how do they get a hold of you?
So my website is nutritioning.co. So I like think of nutrition, but as a verb. So nutritioning, like I'm nutritioning, .co. And then you can book a free consult. And if you're local, I'll meet people wherever they are. But if you're not wanting to meet in person, we could do like over the phone. But I love doing those consults. I feel like I meet so many people and it's so fun to just like get to know them and even just give some like tips on like what you can do.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So I ask, stop looking at me we need a little sign that says ask your questions.
Yeah.
So we ask 2 questions to every guest that comes on the podcast. One is, how long have you been a member with the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
a year?
2 years.
2 years.
I was gonna say, I think it's been 2 years.
Well, yeah, like going into year 2, like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. And what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the CVABC?
Just like meeting people, and I think that like that's the biggest thing. Like even in coffee talks, like you get more connected, and that was something before I signed up. Like I had no idea. I was like, people like to do like their business a lot of times like online through social media, and I really wanted to do like more local stuff, and I had no idea like what to do. I was like, where do I go? Like how do I meet people? Like how does this work? So that was like really helpful just to get plugged in.
Right. Especially when you're a new business and not being ageist or anything, but you are younger. So like you don't have the experience of like, oh, I've run a business for 20 years kind of thing. Right. So you're still learning and things like that. So I've been running a business, pretty much for 7.5 years, and I'm still learning things every day. Like, oh, I didn't even realize I needed to do that, So it's great to be able to, and having a social media presence and being, because like I said, I saw your social media and was like, it really made me think about like, maybe I'm feeling tired because of what I'm eating. So let me see what I'm eating and what I can do better. But in order to have that audience, you have to know people.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to, being able to meet people at coffee talk and things like that is a great way to kind of build that audience to where you can, kind of even have someone to see your social media. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you for coming on with us today. I always love learning more about nutrition and things people can do to, better themselves. And
because everybody needs it. Everybody eats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing all of that with us. And, if you're listening in and you've been struggling, or you just, maybe you just need to have a consult and, have her help you work out a plan, or just have someone to support you. Sorry, my phone keeps ringing. Call Kelly and let her talk with you. She's, I always say I get nervous around going and talking to like trainers and things like that, because I always feel like they think that they're like, oh, I'm so awesome because I'm,
and it's intimidating.
Kelly is not that way. I mean, I love Kelly. I think she's just she's easy to talk to, and I think y'all will find the same. So make sure to reach out to her. Yes. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna go to commercial, and we'll be back, and we're gonna be talking about the upcoming Bedford County Fair.
Sounds great. Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
America's Choice in Home Care.
And now everyone's singing the jingle. So that was a great commercial, not just because I did it, but because it's part of Talk Local to Me. So if you own a business and you're like, that'd be a great place for me to advertise my business. And, either if you want to hear your business there, or you're just tired of hearing me talk about Visiting Angels during that commercial break, that spot is available. Heather, why did you roll your eyes when I said tired of talking about it?
I didn't roll. If I did so, that was unintentional.
I'm just teasing. She didn't really.
Maybe. Yeah.
It adds good drama to the air.
Okay.
So
let me roll my eyes.
But if you're interested in advertising your business in that spot, it's very affordable. $100 a month gets you 4 to 5 episodes a month, depending on how the month falls. And you can even have the studio named. We could have like the Visiting Angels Studio. Or if you wanted to have your business name there, you can do that. And is it $250 a month?
Yes.
And we could come to you from the insert business name here. So
studio.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think it's a great opportunity. I don't know if you guys know, but we've been doing this for 3 years now. Our numbers are pretty good for a small local podcast. I mean, we're averaging, a large, anywhere between 900 and 1,200 live listeners, lots of people listening in, and then downloads and things on a weekly basis. So great opportunity to get your name out there. I'm just going to say, I don't know about Mike, but I'm really excited to talk to our next guest because I love a good event.
Right.
As sad as I am that we're having to cancel one of ours coming up, I am very happy for the return of the Bedford County Fair. And so we're going to be talking with Carolyn and Joy about that. And I will just lead off saying the Bedford County Fair for me, personally brings back such great memories because my youngest daughter, for 2 years in a row was part of the Bedford County Fair pageant they used to have there. And she was wee little Miss Bedford one year. And then she was Little Miss Bedford the second year. And, going and doing that. And then they also did a talent show. They used to have talent shows there. And she did a dance routine there and won, at that. And so for us, that was such a great family thing to go back and go to that each year and be a part of it and see all the different exhibits, ride the rides. And I'm just super excited that it's back. So we're going to chat a little bit about, the fair and what's going to be there and all the good things. So welcome, you guys. Thank y'all so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So I guess just to kind of start out, tell us about the fair coming back. What are the dates? All the good, like, informational pieces.
Okay, the fair is going to be the weekend of August 23rd through 25th. We are at a new location on Falling Creek Road. It is at literally a hayfield between the sheriff's office and the Bedford Water Authority.
Okay.
Plus, we're also utilizing the Bedford County Gym for our exhibit hall.
Oh, perfect.
Now, with that said, we will have shuttle parking for the general public. We can park handicap and our vendors on site. But beyond that, we have shuttle parking. Those locations will be at Berkland of Bedford, Liberty Lake Park, and Westgate Shopping Center.
Okay. That's good to know so that people aren't trying to clog up traffic on, Falling Creek trying to, I'm telling you what, you can see some people park crazy. I could see people now trying to find somewhere to park. But to know that there's shuttle. What time is the shuttle service run? Is it like just during the hours of the event?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And I do love, I'm excited about the expo hall, because we're going to have a booth there on Saturday morning. So I'm excited to set up there and let people learn more about our organization and what we do in the community. We're going to be, putting out some stuff, letting people know about Centerfest coming up in September. So thank you guys so much for letting us have, having some space there and the opportunity to do that. But, so talking a bit about the exhibit hall, what are some of the different contests? Can people still enter that? Like, how does that work?
Yes, most definitely. You can still enter. The deadline to enter the contest is August 19th.
Okay.
With the exception of the poster essay contest, which is open to students kindergarten through 12th grade. The deadline for that is August 15th. And that's simply because we have teachers that read the essays and judge the posters. So they need a little extra time to take care of that.
What's the theme for that?
Well, there's different topics related to agriculture. I believe the poster is My Farm, What Does It Look Like? And that's kindergarten through second grade. And then there are various ag topics for students to write about. I
know my daughter is so excited. She's taking ag this year at Liberty Middle. She took it, last year they got to do like a brief every one, but this year they got to choose like two. And so she's, art and ag. She's still trying to talk her dad into a goat.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
It'll mow the grass.
He's trying so hard to
he
get a goat.
He won't have to mow grass again. Just move the goat.
We've told him that, but then he was like, you can't just have one goat. You have to have two goats, and I don't want two goats.
It sounds like he just wants two goats.
It's a large fight at our house about goats. And, now my other daughter has chickens and pigs and
she's got a whole zoo.
But we can't get her husband to agree to a goat. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you have the essay contest, but y'all also do like pie. Is it like pies and jams? Is it kind of like your regular county fairs where people bring those and they get taste tested and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. One of our special contests this year is My Favorite Chocolate Cake.
Oh, man.
Yes.
How do you get to judge that? I would like to judge.
That is the favorite question of most folks. Do you need judges for the baked goods? But we also have jams, jellies, pickles, vegetables. We also have fresh produce, horticulture, various arts and crafts. Another favorite is the photography art contest. We have 10 different photography categories and 4 different age groups for that particular contest. Okay. So a lot to pick from.
And I know there's a bunch of different youth organizations really excited about the Scarecrow contest this year.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what's the scarecrow talk? Oh,
So you build a scarecrow and you enter it, and it will be judged. We're also going to do a People's Choice division this year on the scarecrows.
didn't they used to now? And maybe this is just me. I don't know in my mind, but didn't they used to do one where you made like a diorama with potatoes?
The Mr. Potato
Yes,
Head.
that's it. Okay, are they still doing that, or is that kind of the scarecrow taking the place of? Do they change it?
I don't think we have that one this year, but
No.
maybe in the future.
I'm not gonna lie, that was so cute. I'd walk around and say all
I
the.
thought you were totally making that up until they confirmed.
I was not like you. They had like little dioramas, and people like, made the. Like it was like
Yeah.
a regular russet potato, and they decorated them and made them into little scenes, and it was pretty cool. Which I love that part because it's awesome to see, the produce and that side, but it's great to see the artsy craftsy side of what people can do with, everyday items and produce and things like that. And so it's a lot of fun walking. I think some people go, oh, what fun is that to just walk around and look? It is a lot of fun. There's a lot of great items. And then you can also see the different farms that have like submitted things like their jams and jellies and stuff like that. So when do they do the judging for those?
It will be on the Wednesday before the fair opens. Our judges come in from other counties. They have been trained or they are trainers from the Virginia Association of Fairs Judging School.
Oh,
wow.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
That's a big deal.
I'm going to have to look up how to go to that because that's how you get to taste the pies.
You're
That's
just
correct.
you're gonna be a part of that.
You got to go to school to taste pies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So what other types of events are going to be happening at the fair that people can come and take part of?
So we have several different musicians throughout the fair. And we have our Old McDonald farm tent that will be going on through all open fair hours. On Sunday, we are not going to have our car show this year, but instead we're going to have a family fun day with special attractions brought in for the kids, inflatables, face painting, etc. That's all sponsored by a local tractor dealership, Powers Tractor. But it looks like it's going to be a great day, so people can bring their kids and have plenty for them to do that day.
Nice.
We are also having our scholarship contest.
Yes.
That's the Ken Palmer Memorial Scholarship Contest, and that will actually be held the Thursday before the fair. I'm sorry, the Wednesday before the fair. I have my wrong day here. But that is open for youth who will submit an application and some information, as well as come and have an interview. And that will be on Wednesday. And we're actually having that at the Bedford Museum.
Okay. Well, is there a certain age group that can come and apply for that scholarship, or is it
That's 9th through 12th graders.
9th through 12th graders? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
And we're offering 2 scholarships, one for $1,000, one for $500, and they can be applied to the school of their choice. And it does not have to be a college or university. It could be a trade school.
Excellent.
Mhm.
It could be something that's tied to the FFA conferences and programs that they have the opportunity to attend, even STEM.
Mhm.
Right.
Bedford
And
County.
4-H.
And 4-H. Mhm.
Yeah.
So how, and I'm going to get back into what's going on at the fair, but how important was it to bring the fair back this, because that's been gone for maybe what, 2, 3 years? 2?
It's been gone since before COVID.
Before COVID,
ended
okay.
it for us.
And I know I've seen a lot of people asking year after year, like, is the Bedford County Fair coming back? Is the Bedford County Fair coming back? Which just leads to show how many people, really enjoyed the event. So like kind of what was the decision of bringing it back? Like how important was that, I think, to the community?
Well, that is it. The community really wanted it to be brought back. And it's something that our team truly enjoys doing.
Mm-hmm.
We are a total volunteer group. And it's just kind of like a love for us to do this.
Yeah, I definitely think, especially as all of our surrounding counties almost have added a county fair within the last decade or so, I feel like Bedford was missing out without one. And we had it going strong for several years. Took a break because of COVID and then finding a new location.
Yeah.
And now that we're back, I know a lot of people are really excited. And it just makes us feel good as the board that we're able to do that for people.
I think people, don't realize, and I can say this because I do realize, putting on events, that there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just like, oh, I think I'm going to have an event, in September, and, you snap your fingers and it all comes together and it's a jolly great, time. A lot goes into it. And I know specifically for something this large as the county fair, location is definitely a factor. And, having to move and find a new location. I struggle even now, like trying to find me. Of course, like Centerfest is what it is. But when you're trying to think of other events or things to bring into the community, location is like the number one thing. And we don't necessarily have a huge event venue or area that you can do things like that. So, kudos to you guys to be able to pull it all back together and bring it back this year. I'm very excited.
Well, thank you, and we're just excited that we get to do it, and we're here, and it's right around the corner, and we're really excited to be sharing with everyone.
Now, I know there's going to be the carnival rides coming back. Is that every day, like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is there admission to the fairgrounds, or is it just, you having to pay for the, the attraction tickets, I'm assuming?
The fair is a free gate fair.
Okay.
So there's no fee for parking, obviously. There's no fee for shuttle, and there's no fee to get into the fair. Now, if people choose to use the Midway and ride the rides and purchase the things or play the games in that area, that is a separate fee. But, the fair in its entirety is completely free.
And it sounds like there's a lot of fun to be had without having to pay anything. But if you want to do the extra things, then they're always there.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then y'all have vendors that'll be set up selling, their items. And will you have many, and you may not know this. So for those that put something into the judging, let's say like the jams and stuff, do you have any of them that are going to have booths to sell any of their,
No,
okay.
Not at this time.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I could go get like a pie or one of those chocolate cakes.
You can pretend to be a judge.
I'm just going to walk in and be like, just bring my own fork. Like, I'm just going to try it.
Yeah, I know. We would have to have like an amateur versus a professional division or something.
Right. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's really exciting that it's coming back to the area. I hope great weather.
Yes,
first and foremost. Yeah. Is it rain or shine, or kind of who makes that call?
Yeah, I mean, unless we're in the state of an emergency or something along those lines, it's just going to have to be a rain or shine event. And of course, the Midway will have to do their own evaluation of the situation with the weather.
Okay. Yeah. And that's always the hard part about it. I know, last year for Centerfest, we're a rain or shine event, but then they kept saying, oh, the hurricane's coming, the hurricane.
And it's a good thing we didn't have it that day.
And and so we ended up, we made that decision Friday, and it was like it was such a hard decision because you don't, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And then, having to cancel it or move it and,
But I will say that the whole community was supportive of the change, almost to the point, because we did it like right at Halloween, right?
Yeah, we moved it to Halloween.
And so we adapted a little bit and had like a Halloween costume contest for kids and things like that. And it was so popular that people are still asking, why can't we do it at Halloween again? It's like, no, it's a September event. We've got to do it then. But it was great that the community was flexible, and as well as all the vendors and everything else, because that is the hardest thing of putting on an outdoor event is what is the weather going to do?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Well, is there a website, Facebook page that people can go to get any additional information about the fair?
Yes. The website is bedfordvafair.com.
Okay.
We also have an email, which is bedfordvafair@gmail.com. We decided to keep it simple there.
Right.
Definitely. But and we also have our Facebook page, so you can reach out to all three sources for additional information.
Perfect. So if you're listening in and you need some info, you want to just check the times, you want to, make sure if there is rain or weather, you want to follow that information or figure out where you're going to go park your car so you can catch the shuttle, all those good things. Definitely check out the website or the Facebook page, and get that information. We want to see a really good crowd. come out for the fair, and so that we can continue to support it and continue to have it year after year. It's always one of those things where I'm sure if you know 5 people show up, it's like, oh well, is it worth doing all this? But when you have 5,000 people show up, that's a different story.
We are expecting a total of somewhere between 15 and 22,000.
Oh wow,
so
that's
just
amazing.
Yeah,
just a few.
And let's just, because we have a few minutes, but let me just also say how great of a potential economic impact that will have to the town of Bedford and the community, surrounding. And I know that's a big piece of it. Yeah, of course, you may get something from a food truck or something at the fair, but then there's some people that may come from out of town and they need somewhere to stay, or they're just going to grab a quick dinner at Liberty Station or things like that too. So it's great to have events like this because it builds the community up as well as the smaller vendors and such that are on the fairgrounds. So I just want to kind of put that out there.
It's a great thing for our community.
Well, thank you all so much for coming in with us today to talk about it. I was like, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, I really want to have them in just to kind of say a few words for anyone who, I always get the thing is like, well, I didn't even know it was happening until, after it was happening. And so, I think any way you can get the word out is a good thing. So we're going to definitely push this on social media in the next couple, week or so. And hopefully we'll have a great turnout and great weather. So thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for having us.
Well, with that, guys, thanks for tuning in to Talk Local to us today.
Talk
good
local to
episode.
us.
Well, I mean, whatever. Talk local to me. I feel like now that you're here, it's kind of us.
It should be Talk Local to us.
Talk local to me.
We talk local to you.
We'll talk. So, but thank you guys for tuning in. We always are, like I said before, if you would like to be on the show, contact us. Or if you're interested in sponsoring the show, you can contact us as well. But make sure that you are liking, subscribing, ring the notification bell so you know when the new episode is dropped. And go to grovestreet.fm. Make sure to follow that channel as well as Talk Local to Me. There is I'm going to use my favorite word, plethora of other podcasts that are local that you can listen into and get some really great information from Grove Street FM. So until next time, you can also find out a lot of information about the events and the businesses we talk to by going to
cvabc.org. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you next week.